Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Shay Explores Daily, and today I've got another video. I'm exploring this iconic stadium behind me, the Estadio de Maracana here in Rio. So guys, the reason I'm here is obvious. I'm a massive football fan and I enjoy football. And this stadium is one of the most iconic stadiums on the planet. This stadium has hosted 2 World Cup finals. It's hosted the Olympics. It's hosted things such as the final of the Copa Libertadores, which is the South American Champions League. The Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen, British Queen, was here. The Pope's been here. Everyone's been here. It's iconic. So this stadium here has been around for many decades. But recently it overwent some renovation basically to modernize it for the 2014 World Cup. So I want to go in now and show you guys exactly what there is to see. Walk with me, let's go. So guys, as you enter the stadium, you go past a security gate and you've got this cool little sort of walkway behind me where there's lots of shops and stuff and restaurants and stuff where you can buy things. It's similar to Wembley Way, but obviously not as good as Wembley Way. But you can see that there behind me. You see a variety of shops and so on and so forth. So for example, you've got the restaurants there, variety of restaurants. You can buy typical Brazilian food, the toilet in there. And then you've got right here, guys, in front, you've got the official Maracana store, where you can buy official Maracana merchandise. So any Fluminense, Flamengo, Brazil stuff, all in here. And yeah, as you can see, guys, the line is quite a bit long, guys. But you can see there, the Maracana store, you've got various stuff. So you've got like Flamengo. So these are all like Flamengo. And then as you walk around, Flamengo. And then you've got here some stuff for Fluminense. So you've got Fluminense here as well, basically, also. You've got here a mural to someone called Paulo Bueno, which is this guy, who, as I can see, was Brazil's first modern muralist. He'd done over 300 mosaic panels, mostly of porcelain tiles. A little unusual for his time, but I believe this wall was a bit of his work. He'd done that, basically. So you can see him there, and this pays tribute to him, as you can see right there. So in 2013, the inauguration of the Great Reform, of the modernization of the stadium, Mario Filho, that's the official name, President Dilma Rousseff, and you've got the governor of Rio State and others, and then you've got the exact date, 16th of June 2013. How many of you remember that the first official game of Brazil, the Brazil national team, their first game here was against England in 2013? How many of you remember that? And I remember that because Oxlade-Chamberlain scored for England, and it was a 1-1 draw if I'm not mistaken. But that game was done to celebrate the official reopening of this iconic stadium. So this plaque here celebrates the global community of football. So this sculpture, one of 9 across the world, is engraved with the 11 rules of football, first place played at Parker's Piece in Cambridge, England, big up Cambridge, in 1848. This was the moment when a group of students from Cambridge University wrote the rules which everyone could agree upon and play and nail them to the surrounding trees. So a piece of history right there. Here you've got Romario, Brazil legend, right there. You said Rumo a Tetro, means room on the way, the route to the 4th title. So this was taken in 1993, Romario celebrating. This was a 2-0 victory against Uruguay, you can see there. Then you've got 2007. You've got the Pan American Games. You've got the Brazil women's team here. Fantastic ladies here. You've got, and as you can see, in this team you've got, is that Formiga? She's a great player. You've got Marta and other players there as well. And then finally you've got Roberto Diamanchi, a legend of Vasco, basically. And I think he's the 2nd highest scorer in the history of Vasco da Gama. So guys, here you've got a list of historic balls. So you've got there 2006 World Cup ball, you've got 2019 Copa America ball. Brazil won that actually in the stadium. World Cup 2022, Brazil versus Chile. You've got the final of the Sul Americana 2020. That's like the Europa League. Final of the Brazilian Cup, and you've got some old balls there. You've got the World Cup 1950 and a huge variety of balls right there. Here you've got the shirt of Garrincha, a Brazil legend, rest in peace to him. You can see his photo there, that's his Brazil shirt. And then you've got his footprint there. You've got his boots that he wore in the 1962 World Cup in Chile. And then you've got his Botafogo shirt there as well, basically. And obviously you've got a statue of him there. So, a hero of this nation, absolute hero. Pelé, you've got Pelé's footprints there, legendary. And then you've got a net. I think this net is one that was played with, actually. Yep, that is the net when he scored the 1000th goal of his career. That was the net there. And that's his Santos shirt from the Club World Cup in 1963, basically. One thing I will say, guys, is I love the fact that here in Brazil, they actually put the women's team on the same pedestal as the men's team. Of course, the men's team is more famous, it's been around longer, but the females, like Marta, for example, are idolized in this country. I think that's really good. So here you've got various Brazil shirts over the years. So that's a 2016 Olympic shirt. You've got the 1966 Olympic top. 1966 again, with obviously the footprints and stuff. You've got 1962, that was a winning year for Brazil. Yet again, 1962 as well. And then 1958 also as well. And finally, you've got 1950. So Brazil historically used to actually play in white. Previously in the past, Brazil's kit was white, but then they changed it to the famous yellow. I'm not sure why, I'm going to put it on the screen, but Brazil's original colour was actually white. So here you've got a model of the stadium and what it looks like now, basically. So you've got the pitch here in the middle, and obviously we're going to walk through the tunnel, but you can see how it goes round like that. It is one continuous bowl, basically. But this stadium holds, I think, 78,000 people. Roughly, basically. But this stadium looks like this now, roughly. So I'm standing here in the tunnel. So right here is where the players will meet before they walk down the stairs right there and go out to the pitch. So this tunnel area is absolutely huge. It's absolutely wide. It reminds me of the West Ham tunnel as well, how wide it is, basically. But round here as well, you'll see a variety of changing rooms as well. I think there's about 4 or 5 dressing rooms in here. Obviously, Fluminense have their own, Flamengo have their own, but the tunnel there, as you can see, absolutely very, very long. And wide, basically. So here you can see dressing room C, so Vestuario C, and then you've got Vestuario D as well. So there's 2 this way, I believe, as well. So there's 2 dressing rooms here, and I think there's 2 on that side as well, basically. So over here you've got the Fluminense crest, and then the Flamengo crest as well. So I'm guessing Flamengo get dressed on this side, and Fluminense get dressed on this side, if I'm not mistaken. So, Brazil is the only nation to play in every single edition of the FIFA World Cup. And behind me, you've got a shirt, I believe from each World Cup, or most of them, that I want to show you. Similar to the other side, but I want to show it to you right now. So, 1958 home shirt, 1958 away shirt, the first title, basically. 1962 home shirt, the second title, second time champion. 1970, third title, basically, right there, home shirt. 78 home away shirt, 78 home shirt. Didn't win this year, unfortunately. I'm not sure who they got knocked out by that year. I can't remember. 82, one of the best Brazil sides to not win the World Cup, Zico. Zico played this year in 82. Didn't win. You've got a shirt from 84, 88, and finally, World Cup winning shirt of 94. This is one from Branco, number 6. Guys, I'm going to walk through the dressing room now and walk in the Flamengo dressing room, basically. So, Flamengo, for me, is the biggest team of Rio, maybe of Brazil. So let's go and walk in there now and have a look. So just some standard toilets, as you can see there, nothing fancy. And as you walk through, toilets and a bath area there as well. And then, here we are, inside the dressing room. Not bad at all. So here you've got Flamengo's honour. So it says the biggest support of, I'm guessing that's the world, faz a diferença. The biggest supporters make the difference. And you can see Flamengo's honours. So they've won the Club World Cup once. They've won the Copa Libertadores 3 times. That's the South American Champions League. They've won the Recopa once. I think that's their UEFA Cup or Europa League or Super Cup, I'm not too sure. They've won the Brazilian League 8 times. They've won the State Championship 38 times. The Super Copa 2 times, and then they've got other trophies like the Copa do Brasil 5 times, and so on and so forth. Then in here you've got shirts from different teams. So this is from Penarol, a team, I think they're from Uruguay. You've got a Santos shirt, a Racing shirt, which is from Argentina, Estudiantes from Argentina, Nacional, I think from Uruguay, Independente, I think from Argentina, Cruzeiro from Brazil, Boca Juniors, and it goes all the way around. And guys, in here where I'm standing looks like some kind of warm-up area. You can see the Fluminense badge, and you can see this open grass area here. So I'm guessing this is where the players will warm up before they go to the pitch, if I'm not mistaken, or they'll stretch. You've got like exercise bikes there as well. So I'm guessing it's like a warm-up area, if I'm not mistaken. So guys, as you can see, that's a tunnel there, the entrance to the tunnel right there. Then I'm on the other side basically, so you can see how long it is and how wide it is. So on that side, you've got the Flamengo badge. I'm guessing that's the Flamengo side normally. Then this side, you've got the Fluminense side. So the officials will ring the bell. Players will come from here. Flamengo will come from there, line up here. Fluminense will come from here and line up there. They'll line up here, then walk straight down the tunnel out to the pitch, basically. So pretty standard procedure. And here you've got some more footprints. So Vini Jr., legend, well, in his own making. Silva, Batuta, Petkovic. You've got Leandro, you've got some guy called Carpa Gianni, and here you've got some more. So Marco Antonio, you've got Freggi, the one who played for Brazil in the 2014 World Cup. You've got Felix, you've got Edinho, Rivellino, Didi, and so much more. The time is now. Let's go and walk down the tunnel. Let's go and walk down the tunnel right now. As you can see, I'm standing pitch side, and as you can see, it's a fantastic view. The stadium is one continuous stand, basically. It goes all the way around. But there's some cool things that I want to talk about in regards to the renovation from 12 years ago that I want to talk about that I think is really, really cool in comparison to the old stadium. So the first addition, guys, is these massive screens here, guys. So there's one screen there, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see 4 massive screens, basically. These are obviously to put the lineups on and to give information regarding things like safety and so on and so forth. So something else is really, really cool as well. The actual dugouts is actually underneath, like the players are kind of hidden basically from the fans, partially because fans here in Brazil are known for being quite passionate, and and you know, it's sort of for the players on safety and also for shade as well. So you've got the dugouts here where you've got the roof, whereas in England the dugouts is open basically. It's a little bit different here in Brazil. So you've got one long dugout here on this side, basically one long here. I'm not sure which is for the home team and away team. That's one long dugout. Then on the other side, I think there's another one on the other side as well, basically. So you can see that right here, pretty much. Also as well, guys, because the stadium is shared between both clubs, and I don't think either of them actually own the stadium, the colour of the seats are yellow and blue. They're not actually in red for Flamengo, or they're not in purple, I think it is, for Fluminense. They're a neutral colour, because the stadium's actually, I believe, owned by the state, if I'm not mistaken. Please forgive me if I'm wrong. But you can see there that most club stadiums are actually the colour, the seats are the colour of the club. So guys, I'm not too sure, but I think up there is where the corporate boxes are, the corporate seats. So this little row here, then behind it there, I think that's where you have the media, the Brazilian media, and so on. You have the seats there, and then as you can see, it just goes all the way around, pretty much like that. Goes all the way around. So guys, I'm here in the stands, and I thought I'd give the seats a test, because obviously every time I go to a stadium I like to test the seats. So as you can see, got the seat here. It's not padded like how it is in a lot of the stadiums in England, but this is a historic stadium. Like, people don't come here to sit, you see. People come here to stand up in the crowd. It's absolutely incredible. So these front row seats here, it says preferential these are preferential seats for pregnant people, people with babies, and people who are disabled, basically. So as you can see, this row here, you can see the seat is wider. It's 2 seats in one basically, but these seats get preferential priority obviously. But yeah, you can see obviously the seats aren't in the colours of the clubs. So I'm sat here in the dugouts, and it's quite rare to have a dugout because in Europe the dugouts are open, but here you sit underneath like that, and the dugout is directly slightly below the pitch basically. It's not on pitch level, so you can see what I mean basically. So as you can see, I'm sat here in the dugouts as you can see, and then you've got the pitch there and a little bit below pitch level you can see, but you can see it pretty much right here. Now some of you may ask, why didn't I come for a game? So basically, silly me timed my trip wrong. So basically in Brazil here, they have the state championships at the start of the year, like January, February. Then there's a pause, and then there's the Brazilian league after. But I came literally between the state championship and the league championship, so I've actually missed football. But next time I'm in Rio, I need to come and see a game here. I have to come. My second time here, I need to come and see a game. So yeah guys, just some more. So Technico C, that's a coach's room I believe. Technico C. As you walk through the stadium. Delegados A, so I'm guessing that's officials if I'm not mistaken. Officials. And then you come in here into the press room. So here I am in the press room. You've got the Fluminense like wall here where they would get interviewed. And at the back here you've got the Flamengo one, so whoever plays for who will get interviewed. But in this room you'll have obviously the coaches, the players, etc. will come into this room after a game and give their thoughts on what's going on. And then here you've got obviously the stage over there, and then you can see that people come in there, and then the press will sit obviously here pretty much. And yeah, that's the press room. So guys, as I'm from the UK, I could not miss this. This is officially the seat that Queen Elizabeth II, the late Queen, rest her soul, sat here. So she came to this stadium in the past. I think she came in either the 50s or 60s, I can't remember. But she came here to the Maracana and she sat in this seat. And here is a tribute to her for her visit on that day. And as you can see, Queen Elizabeth watched the historical match between Botafogo and Santos in the Maracanã when Pelé scored his 900th goal. So Queen Elizabeth was in the stadium to watch Pelé score his 900th goal. So guys, finally I have a drawing of the old Maracanã stadium. So when Brazil played Uruguay it was called the final, but it was like a final group game in 1950. This stadium hosted over 100,000 people in the stadium. You can see exactly what it looked like. It had obviously, it was all single, like it was all like a bowl, but over 100,000 people there in the stadium. As you can see, Pope John Paul sat in this chair. There's 2 times he came, I believe. This one here in front of me, 4th of October 1997, he came here. And the first time was in 1980, which is that plaque over there. So the Pope came twice here to Rio, once in the 80s, once in the 90s, and I think that's where he stood. So here you've got the Maracanã in numbers, basically. So you've got 5,000 tons of weight of the structure, of the metallic structure, which forms the actual stands. You've got 360 LCD TV, 42 inches. Those are the ones that I spoke about outside. It's hosted 2 World Cup finals, yeah. It's got 231 bathrooms, 110 cabins, 2 Olympic ceremonies, 60 bars. The biggest attendance is almost 200,000, basically. And it's got a capacity of 78,838. So this stadium is huge and it's absolutely historic. It's a great stadium. So guys, overall, how was the tour? You know what? I really enjoyed it. I came here 10 years ago to do this tour, but they've actually upgraded it a lot since then. They've put a lot more in this area, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I would suggest if you want to come to Rio, come down here. It costs 84 or almost 85 Brazilian reais, which is about 11 quid, basically. But come down to Rio and have a look. That is it, guys, for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. As you can tell, I'm having so much fun here in Rio. I'm enjoying myself. It's great, the weather's good. I've got more videos coming for you guys. But in the meantime, write your thoughts below. I will see you soon on the next video.